Yeah, on the ball spreads prediction show coming to you live here on April 25th. MLB Best Bets, where we swept the slate, cashed the locks. We had the Cubs. They cashed us, guys. We're going to keep running it up, man. We had the Pirates, and we also had our play of the day with Gavin Williams and the Guardians. All right, guys, 3 MLB top plays yesterday, went 3-0. Today, I am going to cover not the full slate, but part of it. We're going to start out with the Mariners here versus the Cardinals, where they got Liberatore on the mound versus Brian Wu. Brian Wu has been absolutely filthy with the 2.25 ERA. I believe they keep this thing lower scoring. Cardinals have snuck in some wins here. Their bats have actually been fairly hot. They're at home. They've played better at home than they have on the road. But look, I like the Mariners here with Brian Wu and a low ERA. I think the bats wake up today against Liberatore. Give me the Seattle Mariners here on the money line, minus 144. All right, brings us into this next game where we got Gausman on the mound. I don't love the bats for the Blue Jays, but I do like Gausman in this spot against a Guardians team that has shown us that they kind of struggle a little bit as far as hitting Gausman. They've shown us in the past that, you know, with Gausman being a lefty, that they struggle against lefties, and Gausman in particular. So in this spot here, I'm going to fade Cantillo with this 3.2 ERA. He's not hateful, but Gausman's been a much better spot. I like the Blue Jays through the first 5. Give me the Blue Jays through the first 5 innings. All right, here we go. We're going into our next matchup here with the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Twins. I like Bailey Ober. He looked good, even though the bats didn't back up Bailey Ober last game. He's looked really good. I'm gonna have to go with Ober here in this spot. He's looked really solid in his starts. He's a righty, and the Rays can get to righties, but you know, McClanahan, he's got good strikeout stuff, but the 5 ERA is just a little concerning. I know Ober still gives up runs, but in this spot here, I like the way Bailey Ober has commanded the bump. I think that there's an edge there today with Bailey Ober on the mound. McClanahan's been inconsistent, even though he's throwing about a strikeout per inning. He's just been a little inconsistent for my liking to want to take them on the money line. I think the value in the EV here is for the Twins. You're getting plus 115 taking the Twins on the money line when there's no clear advantage in this matchup. So for a coin flip game with Bailey Ober playing as well as he has with a better ERA, I'm going to have to take the Twins here, guys. All right, that is my take on that one. We're going to skip over this Washington Nationals Red Sox game. It's ass. You don't need to bet on it. We will go into Mexico City, guys. I am fucking excited for this game. We have the Padres, one of the hottest teams in baseball right now, taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Padres have had and seen plenty of Zach Gallen. Tatis has had good history against Gallen. Machado's had good history against Gallen. They can get to Gallen. He's a righty. We all know that the Padres struggle a little bit with lefties. I think here Herman Marquez has been decent. Zach Gallen's been decent. I would have liked to seen a different pitcher, but the Padres was one of the best bullpens in the game. I think in a late game in Mexico City, they're going to be liable to find some late runs, win this thing on the money line. I want the minus 102. That really pretty much close to plus money EV as you can get with the Padres here. I think that they're a really solid team. The bats are going to be alive out there in Mexico City. It's a higher elevation than Denver. If you look at the home run lines, they're projecting 5 home runs in this game. I think Tatis breaks his cold streak of no home runs today. I think Tatis goes yard. He's got that, you know, Latin last name. I think that place goes crazy. I've spent plenty of time in San Diego. I know exactly how, you know, the Mexican community thrives around a guy like Tatis, even though he's Puerto Rican, or not Puerto Rican, Dominican. I think that they're going to thrive around him. You know, it's a Latin kind of infused team with the Padres. They're going to have the home crowd out there, and I think that the Padres win this thing, and it's may not even be a close game. We'll see how well the bats wake up today. They've been hitting the ball really well. I want my money on the Padres here at minus 102 with the EV as good as it can possibly be for these Padres. All right, moving into A's Rangers. I don't really have a take on this one. I'm not betting this one, but if I had to lean aside here in this, we'll scroll on down, take a look. Jeff Springs, I really like the way he's looked. I like the way Gore's looked, but I like the bats in the A's lineup and Jeff Springs pitching. I would have to lean towards the A's in this one. I don't have any money on this one yet, but that's where I stand. This is another one, man, where it's like pitcher versus hitters. I like the way the bats have been. Salter's actually had a really good outing in his first 2 starts. 2.2 ERA. I mean, Raggins hasn't been the guy we know and love. He hasn't been that pitcher that has just been thrown to high stinky cheese. So in this sense, I'm going to have to go with a decent outing for Sutter, and the bats for the Angels driving in enough runs to over edge this Royals team. This Royals team, I think, is one of the bottom teams in the MLB. I don't think they win this one. I think the Angels get this, and they keep it moving. All right, I want the Angels on the money line. And then taking us to, I'm going to do 2 more games for you guys. I'm going to do 3 more games for you guys, and then we're out of here. I want to do Yankees, or I want Pirates, Brewers. We'll do Yankees. Everybody loves the Yankees, right? And the Yankees on the money line today are minus 154. They're taking on Weathers and Burrows. Weathers has been really respectable. Burrows, they've gotten to him. And the thing about Burrows is he's a righty. Yankees can get to righties. But the slugging percentage for this team with the Astros, they're doing really well. If you just look at the slugging percentage and on-base percentage, these guys are doing really well across the top of that order. And that's my only concern. Even though Weathers has thrown the ball really, really well here. This is another game I don't have money on, but I lean Yankees. Reason being is Weathers 3.1 ERA. The Yankees bats can get to Mike Burrows. You got big bats in Stanton, Ben Rice, obviously Aaron Judge. But Jazz Chisholm's due, man. He's due. I think he gets a hit today, but he's due for a home run. I'm going to continue to sprinkle Jazz Chisholm home runs until he gets one. But yeah, he's a look spot there, guys. I like the Yankees on the money line. Let's keep it moving on into the Phillies and Braves. Phillies, Braves. You got Zach Wheeler taking on Elder. Elders look great, man. And I can't speak highly enough of him, even though he's a righty. And they have played really well. The Phillies have played really well against righties. They've struggled against the lefties. The Cubs rolled out pretty much all their lefties against the Phillies, and they dog walk the Phillies every single day. Look, I would like to say this is a bounce back spot for them, but the Braves have not lost a series yet this season, and the Braves bats have looked phenomenal. Elder's got a 1.5 ERA. He's 3-1. I think that they win this thing on the money line, minus 122. This was a borderline debate for me today for a lock of the day out of MLB, but I just couldn't bring myself to fade Wheeler and tell my clients that this team and the Phillies are going to get beat that easily by the Braves. I think this will be a fairly close game, and I like the Braves over the course of the full game, 9 innings. The Phillies may jump out to an early lead. They could steal the first 5, but I like this team with the bullpen concerns a little bit over here in Philly. I think that the Braves can get to them and win this game on the money line, minus 122. Give me that for the value as well. All right, last game of the night, we got the Cubs. We got the Los Angeles Dodgers. We were on the Cubs last night. I think it's 10 straight now for the Cubs. They are on an absolute heater. They're hitting the ball really well. They're taking on Sasaki. Sasaki doesn't throw the ball well, man. 6.11 ERA. This goes all the way back to last year. He doesn't really dice up a lot of strikeouts. And when he does, it's foul tips that gets him there, and he throws, some of that heat that he does have. And Colin Rea, we haven't had a big enough dose of him this year. But the couple times he's been respectable. I just think the bats are too hot. Sasaki hasn't shown us enough over the course of last year and this year that he's a guy we can depend on, especially with a heavy favorite like the Dodgers today. They are a heavy favorite sitting at minus 138. Well, not terribly heavy. You're not paying the markup because of the upset last night at plus 140 on the Cubs. But here, same thing with the value at plus 118. I think it's going to be a close game. If you wanted to take the run line at minus 172, go for it. But I really do like the money line here at plus 118 on the Cubs to go back-to-back against a Dodgers team that hasn't been driving in the runs. It's almost like if the Dodgers aren't hitting home runs, they're not able to score. That seems to be the theme right now. So that's where I'm at on today's MLB Best Bets, guys. If you found this information useful, go ahead, drop a like, make sure to subscribe. If you want my premium plays, just click the descriptions. I have all my links posted. You would click on the Winible link. That'll take you to my Winible site where you can buy any of my packages. Use code MONEY to save. And lastly, let's book the one way. Let's make some money. And what you're looking at here, guys, is Blowout Alert. This is my app, my data, my analytics. It really helps me. Just like here on NBA, I can jump on in here and see where the value is on guys. Okay, Asar Thompson has some value today on rebounds, assists, blocks, steals, and assists. You know, and I can go in here and jump in and see what he's been averaging. His line is at 8.5 on FanDuel today. 9, 8.5, 11. I like the over 7.5 alt line. You can throw that in a parlay and see where it shakes out. It gives you a little bit of an edge by taking it down and watering down the price and the juice on it a little bit. But you throw that in a parlay, it feels like it's a good hit. 8.5 is still very alive and active for Asar Thompson. So, guys, I will call it. Tatis gets his home run today. I think he goes yard. He gets his first home run of the season. Take Tatis. But once again, if you want Blowout Alert, just Google Sports FBI or Blowout Alert. Sign up completely for free and see if you want to mess around with the free platform and see what information it's useful for you. You can always jump on Pro or Elite and get all the information that I have. I use Elite every single day, and I never miss parlays by maybe 1 or 2 legs. That's it. It gives me such an edge that I can easily almost always hit my parlays or get close enough to where it's right there. And that's the key. Once you can get consistency with missing by 1 or 2 legs, it's just a tweak or one more read, one more detail, and then you have days like we had yesterday where it was just the floodgates and we just cashed everything we put out. So guys, once again, like, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Book them one way.